Hey friends, we are here at my Botox appointment with Madeline. You want to say hi?
Hi!
And we're going to go over today Botox in my forehead and the 11s.
And
Crow's feet.
Are we doing lip flip?
You think we do need to?
Smile. Do you want it to fold out more?
You know I do.
Okay, so lip flip.
So a lip flip too. So I'm just gonna roll it and let her do her thing. We're gonna ask her some questions as we do this. One of them was, we'll talk about the price right quick. Pricing just on average. What's the price of?
So the way I do my injections, I start everyone with a very minimum dose, and then we can always add more at the 2-week mark if we need to. It's easier to add more than it is to wait for heavy Botox to kind of settle and, let that heaviness go away. So the dose really influences the pricing. So everyone's dose is going to be different. On average, though, I would say that if we're doing forehead and 11th, pricing is going to be around $360. For people who do not have deep lines at rest, you can get away with doing a little bit less, but I do not ever completely lower the dose to where it's going to be ineffective, because I'm doing you what is the word? A disservice. I'm doing you a disservice. I'm doing you a disservice if I am underdosing you and the tox is not lasting for you, because we are not supposed to inject any sooner than every 90 days. So if the tox is not lasting that long, you're going to be texting me asking for your next appointment, and I'm not going to be able to treat you until that 90 days is over. Because the more tox exposure you have, the more likely it is your body is going to get immune to the product. So we don't want that. If we add in crow's feet, that can range anywhere between $200 to $350. So pricing really depends on the person. Maintenance wise, most of my clients treat crow's feet twice a year. On average, everyone does forehead and 11s 3 or 4 times a year, and then they do crow's feet twice a year, so every other visit. So you'd be spending around $360 times 4, and then I feel like if we're doing forehead, 11s, and crow's feet, most time it's around like $750, so that would be twice a year. You can add in other treatments as far as like lower face for a more tightened appearance here. If you are treating upper face, then I just do this as an add-on cost, so it's $500. If I do it per unit, which if we're only treating neck by itself, then normally it's around $750. But again, the pricing really depends on the person. Do you want to go through your treatment plan? Because I know everyone always asks about that. Yeah. Okay, so Joanna was one of my very first clients when I first started. I think you booked like the second day I was ever even in town. So she has been with me for a while. I've been here since 2022, and it's 2025. So that's been almost 3 years that she's been my client. We started with just Botox, and really, I think we only started with Botox for forehead and 11s. Mm-hmm. And then later that year, you started your weight loss journey?
Yes.
Okay, so later that year, she started her weight loss journey, but I don't think it was until the following year that we actually did Sculptra.
Correct.
So 2023, I think it was like November-ish, we did Sculptra. Sculptra is a collagen stimulator, so for people who are on weight loss medication or just on a fitness journey, or for anyone who's over the age of 30, Sculptra is going to help maintain your skin tissue and integrity. So a lot of times when people are on, different kinds of weight loss medication, or even just aging in general, not everyone focuses on your protein intake. And if you're not in the fitness industry, a lot of people don't know to focus on protein intake. And that really influences your skin. So Sculptra comes in and stimulates collagen, helps with the fine lines and wrinkles, helps restore volume. So a lot of times we're losing volume in our temples, here, jawline. So Sculptra kind of goes back in and lays the foundation. So we did that November 2023. It takes about 3 or 4 months before you finally start seeing results. this whole time she's still doing her routine Botox. We also did lip filler for the first time in that period. I think
which I didn't want to do in the beginning.
Yeah. I think we've done probably 2 syringes.
Yeah,
filler.
That sounds about right.
So we've done a total of about 2 syringes of filler over the course of about 1.5 years.
1.5. Yeah.
1.5 years.
Yeah.
So she really wanted to build her volume. She had kind of what's called an M-shaped lip, so it was thicker in the middle, and the sides were a little bit thinner. So it takes more product to kind of even that out. So we maintain her volume with the lip flip because I am very quick to cut people off.
She did cut me off.
Yes. So we have done lip filler. Then last year we also did the under eye rejuvenation, which is basically a lot of times when we're needing that, we need more structure in our cheeks. So we do cheeks, under eye, and temples all in one treatment. So that's a total of 3 syringes. Then we waited a few more months. I think it was probably like 3 or 4 months. And then we went back in and did jawline, and we did some filler here for the nasolabial folds. And that's kind of where we're at right now. We're maintaining. This November will be 2 years since Sculptra. So she waited about a full year, I think, before we actually even did facial filler. So yeah, right now we're just maintaining. Cost-wise of filler, it really depends on what people are needing or wanting. It's kind of tricky, especially depending on the amount of weight loss people have had, because filler is not going to fix any kind of skin laxity. So I get a lot of questions about loose skin down here, and filler can help sharpen the jawline, but it's not going to actually lift up like neck tissue. I think I also seen some questions on your page about under eyes. So under eyes is very tricky because if you have under eye bags, unfortunately the way that you're going to be able to get rid of that is with surgery. So I try to be very transparent with clients. Filler is not going to actually fix under eye bags or the loose skin. What it can do is add some volume to your cheeks to kind of help mask it, but it's not ever going to completely go away without surgery. And it's not going to help with like the pigmentation either. So I think those are the 2 big ones, right?
Yeah, those are the 2 big ones.
Okay.
All
I'll
right.
get you to sign your consent.
Okay. I'll let you push all the buttons this time. Turn it on and listen.
Oh.
Go ahead and say that again.
Okay. So if we're going to do a heavier dose for forehead, this is going to push it down. So we kind of need to do a bigger brow lift to kind of help combat the heaviness here.
Okay.
And then I'll just sprinkle a tad down here because that's not too bad.
Okay.
And your face super hard.
Do angry?
Yeah. Relax. And super hard again.
Now Madeline tells me don't drink caffeine before you come up here because it makes you bleed more, and I don't listen to her on that, unfortunately. But if you want to be a better girl than me, you will not drink caffeine before your treatment.
Raise your brows. I'm guilty too.
I mean, I'm just a nicer person.
Relax. And raise them again. Okay. Raise them again. You had like one little wrinkle right here.
Oh, great.
So
A new one?
Raise it again. Okay, I didn't want to go this low right here where this main line is. Because if I go even like a millimeter too low, it's going to make this feel heavy like that.
Yeah, we don't want that.
So I went a little above it, but Dysport spreads quite a bit, so it should diffuse down.
So what's the difference between Dysport and Botox?
Not much. So Botox is like the name brand that everyone knows. It's been around for the longest. Dysport is a little bit newer to the market, but it has still been around for quite a while. Get closer back over here. So the main difference between them, even though they both smooth wrinkles and get the job done, Dysport just spreads more, so it covers more surface area. So Dysport spreads about the size of a quarter. Botox spreads about the size of a nickel, and then Jeuveau spreads about the size of a dime. So they all do the same thing, but one just spreads more. Dysport is mostly recommended for people who are super active because it lasts longer. Daxi is the other one that's super new to the market, but I don't carry that one. It's supposed to last a little bit longer, but in reality, I don't feel like it's getting as long of a usage as they were promoting. So I haven't really bothered with it.
Gotcha.
Okay, smile really big. This is gonna lift the brows. Smile really big.
Feels like a pinprick.
And your favorite.
Here come the lips. Not fun, but we'll get it.
And smile really big. I'm doing a 4.1 today because I want this to curl out more.
Okay.
Sometimes I do the 2 point, so it's mainly the sides, but it's been a while since we did the 4 point, so I want a little bit more lip show today. Perfect. All done.
Whew. That one stung a little bit, not gonna lie.
Lip flips are the worst.
A little bit of tears, but not too bad. I'll go through it for the results. That's worth it to me. And then aftercare, I put, what's the name of that stuff?
Arnica.
Arnica cream, and I also take it under the tongue. And I also use a ice jade mask. Here's Arnica. But I use a ice jade mask afterwards when I get home, and that helps prevent bruising. So I think that's it. I don't have any other. Can't think of. Length of time depends on your activity and right.
So
your metabolism.
So usually it takes a few days for it to start working and kicking in. By day 3, you can already notice a little bit of a difference of, the muscles actually, how your face is moving. So it's okay if sometimes one muscle kicks in quicker than the other. And then full results will be at the 2-week mark. Sometimes there even have been people it takes a full 3 weeks. So it kind of depends on the person. I personally don't do any touch-ups before the 2-week mark because it can get better. And you don't want to overdo it too soon. So then for the most part, most of the time it lasts about 12 weeks. I always explain it like a bell. So it slowly starts kicking in, then it's at its peak from week 3 to 8 or 9. Then it slowly starts wearing off. You don't get full movement back. It just slowly starts coming back. Yeah.
And that's when I text Madeline. So where can they find you at? How do they get a hold of you?
I just changed my Instagram name, so it's at Madelineferretiz. My Facebook page is The Face Bar by Madeline.
Okay. And I'll tag that below the video too, so you can remember.
Yay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.